Hey everybody, it's Michaela again. Today I'm going to be redrawing these strawberries. I just really didn't like the way this one turned out. So I think I'm going to redraw it and add a couple more berries, maybe some more flowers, maybe change the layout a little bit. I'll put this here so that you guys can see what's happening, what I'm changing. Yeah, so I felt like there wasn't enough strawberries. I felt like it was too balanced and symmetrical, so I wanted to kind of make it a little less symmetrical, add an extra berry on that left side, and then maybe, and I think I might add a leaf down on the right-hand side, and 3 flowers maybe. I'll add one kind of in the background later, 2 flowers in the front. Yeah, so I just wanted to rework it. This drawing's for one of my really good friends, Penny, who asked me to do this actually last summer, and I didn't get time to do it until just now. She really liked the strawberry salsa that I made, and so I wanted to give her the recipe, and I wanted to add a little bit of art. Actually, I want to apologize. I got a little bit overzealous with my water there, and my camera is shaking all over the place. I wanted to wet the paper and then do a drop-in effect with the watercolor, which just kind of helps to feather things out a little bit and makes it a little bit easier to get the color around in more of a splotchy pattern. So I'm painting the background and trying to get some good splotchiness, because I really like that with watercolor. I grabbed some paper towel to kind of clean up some of the edges, make it less wet, because it's sometimes if you try to paint onto something that's too wet, it makes it almost impossible. It spreads really really fast all around. And you can usually tell when the watercolor is dry by just touching the paper. And if the paper is really cold, it's still drying, but when it reaches room temperature, it's better. So the way I'm doing these strawberries here, I really wanted to pull the pigment, I guess, up away from the base. If you have ever seen strawberries that have grown in the wild or in somebody's garden, they usually have white up at the top or even green up at the top, and then as they get more ripe, they ripen from the bottom up. So, and then they grow on vines, so here we are with the vines. And as you can see, sometimes working wet into wet diffuses the pigment of the paints and kind of makes a big mess. I like to use like a really big pot of water because you don't have to clean it as often as like a smaller one, and your brushes get cleaner in more water. I really wanted to stain that paper with that strawberry a little bit more green so that it looks less ripe on that side. So strawberry salsa is actually a really good recipe. It comes from my friend named Stevie, who actually showed this to me, I think, in high school. It's been a really long time, but I make it every summer, and people love it. I get requests for it all the time. So strawberry salsa is 2 pounds of strawberries, 1 cup of sugar, 2 medium jalapeños, the juice from half a lime, 5 green onions, cilantro to taste, and then you just chop everything or puree it to your preferred level of chunk. You mix it all together, and then you serve it in a big bowl with Tostitos, hint of lime chips. It's really good. And then I'll put the whole recipe and all of the media I used to create this painting, along with links to where you can find them, into the description box below. I'd also really like it if you would comment some of your favorite recipes, because I'm always looking for new things to try in the kitchen. I want to apologize that I'm so late with this video. My mom and my brother decided last night decided yesterday that I needed to have fun. And so they pretty much kidnapped me and took me to this thing called Country Jam here in Montana. So it was just kind of a spur of the moment thing, and I was just kind of like trying really hard to get this video done as quick as I could, but then I wanted to go with a longer video this time, more long than my last one, which was 3 minutes. This one is going to be like almost 15 minutes, which is just crazy. But so yeah, my brother calls me. He's like, "Pack your bags. We're going to Country Jam." And I was like, "Okay." And so last night I went to the Joe Nichols concert. We got there pretty late, so we just caught like the tail end of the concert, but it was pretty good. Country Jam is like this 3-day concert event where everybody brings their camper trailer and everybody just camps out and has a really good time. We party and we listen to music and we dance, and it's a blast. It's so much fun. Got a little hair in that brush. Gotta pull it out. So strawberry plants are like one of my all-time favorite plants. And I really love when you go hiking and you can see sometimes their vines are like almost the color of the berries themselves. They're this really pretty pink. And then you see these little white flowers, and I love them so much. They're probably one of the first like plant I ever could identify as a kid. And now, like, whenever I go hiking, I'm just like, oh, look at the strawberries. And I'm sure I annoy everybody in my family and all my friends because I'm just like, ah, strawberries. But yeah, I think they're just so cute. Their leaves are really adorable. They've got like these really pretty like ribs on them almost. They've got like scalloped edges, and then the berries themselves are this they're funny because they're not like what you buy in the store. Like the ones you buy in the store are so huge, and the like wild strawberries are so tiny. They're like smaller than raspberries even, and I don't know. They taste so good. Oh my God. If you ever get the chance to try sun-ripened strawberries, oh man, it's gonna be like the best thing you have ever eaten, like hands down. I love wild strawberries. So I'm trying to think of like anything else to say to fill up this video because it's so long. Ugh. Oh, I did get a new tripod. Like, well, not new, but new to me. I did find that tripod that my mom had, that extra one that I was talking about in my last video. I got that, and I got a selfie stick, and I set the tripod up in the back of my table and then attached the selfie stick to it and like stick it really far out, and then I can have it hover over my paper and you can't see my tripod, and it's kind of fun. I've got like new lights and I feel like a professional YouTuber now. It's pretty exciting. um yep, no more rubber bands for me. Now if only I could get videos out every Friday like I said I would. Okay, so basically what I'm doing right now, I'm just kind of layering in colors in the background, um, just to kind of add more depth to the picture, more value scales. And then I'm kind of trying to spread the color around a little bit so that if you just have color in one spot, the picture kind of gets boring. So you kind of want to spread it around a little bit and make it, I don't know, maybe make it more interesting to the viewer. So right now I'm just trying to maybe darken things up a little bit. I feel like everything's just a little bit too light, so I'm adding more pigment to everything in the background, trying to get more of like a foliage feel. So I'm doing like what we call stippling, which is like dots. And so it kind of gives it the feel of like leaves. And then that strawberry was just a little bit too light. against that green background, so I wanted to make it pop by making a little bit darker around it. Yeah, so same with this one too. I think I just wanted to really make it stand out. And then these other strawberries, I really wanted them to be like juicy red, like you wanted to eat them right off the stem. So I'm adding more. And then I actually, this painting was so wet, I left it overnight so that it would dry, because, so you could see that it dried really fast a little bit ago. Mostly I just wanted to make these strawberries look really yummy. And then, so I'm darkening this one up a lot, trying to really make it really red. And I feel like even after layers and layers, it was still more pink than red. And same with the other one on the left, or on the right there. So I just really went in with like some almost like ridiculously dark pigments. Yeah. And then I noticed those flowers were a little bit white, like more white than they should be. So I tried to add just a little bit of blue into them so that they would kind of look more three-dimensional and a little more natural instead of freakishly bright white. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And then I kind of screwed up a little bit, and they got a little darker than I thought I wanted them to be. So I'm trying to spread it out, and it's just really not working. So I'm trying to like dab it up, and it's also not really working. And I just kind of gave up on it and tried to make those strawberries even darker still. Yeah, and then I added a little bit of yellow to the middle of that white spot so that it would look a little bit more like a flower in the back. And then got my gouache out, my white gouache, so that I could make those flowers more white than blue, and then used it to create the seeds. So what I'm doing is I'm creating like a dot pattern that's similar to the way strawberries lay. I actually used a reference picture for this because I was unsure exactly how to get them to work. And then after I was done painting them, you blot them so that they look a little bit more transparent, like the watercolor, because gouache is really, really opaque. And so if you blot it, it almost looks more like it's supposed to be watercolor. I wanted to use something called liquid frisket for that, and you apply it at the beginning of your painting process, and it's like a latex, and then after you're done, you paint it all over it, and it repels the water, and then you can rub it off afterwards, and it leaves white paper, which is really amazing. I opened my bottle of it, and it was solid. Like, it was just a big gigantic blob of hardened latex, and I had to throw it away. So usually I don't do that with the gouache, and I actually use the white in the background, but it didn't work so hot. So here I'm just adding even more darkness to the background so that it really gives weight to the bottom of the painting, and then up at the top a little bit more feathered. So since we're coming to the end of the painting, I really just want to say thank you guys all so much for watching. I really hope you try the strawberry salsa because it's amazing. And I would really like to try any recipes that you guys have, so don't forget to comment about them, and don't forget to like and subscribe also. Thank you.